What on earth is going on
at Newcastle United?
John Ruddy, Odysseus Vlachodimos, Lewis Hall, Lloyd Kelly, Will Osula. No, it's not a makeshift five-a-side team. These are the 5 players Newcastle have signed in the summer transfer window, promised by CEO Darren Eales to be transformational for the club. Transformational in what sense? In an interview with NUFC TV in July, Eales stated,
what they'll be looking at is, are there areas we can improve and strengthen our squad within the headroom that we've got? And so, as you say, we've still got a couple of months left in the window, and we'll always be looking and striving to see what we can do.
The maximum we can spend under the available headroom. In the transfer window, Newcastle have made a profit of £22 million, mainly through the sales of Elliot Anderson and Yankuba Minter. However, the club have seen a drop in the wage outgoings with long-term players such as Matt Ritchie, Paul Dummett, Jeff Hendrick and Ryan Fraser all leaving the club. Even then, we've only spent money on 3 players, one of which was a deal agreed 12 months ago in Lewis Hall. When you compare that to the previous 5 seasons, Newcastle have not made a profit, going back to the days under Mike Ashley. It's worth noting that these graphics are for both transfer windows and could obviously change after the January transfer window. However, that itself is a window the club rarely did business in before the takeover. The long-running saga of Mark Gahey proves that the club had no idea what they were going to do this summer. Whilst Newcastle aren't completely at fault for this, Crystal Palace were playing jumpers for goalposts with the figures involved in the deal. But why did the club not have the bottle to move on to a different target sooner? Having seen Newcastle under head coach Eddie Howe for nearly 3 years now, and having seen the way that he worked at Bournemouth, there is no way that Mark Gahey was the only defensive target for the club. The deadline day approach for Nottingham Forest winger Anthony Elanga seemed like a smokescreen to me, with the club playing the, well at least we tried approach, to appease the frustration of the fans. Last season we paid the price for the lack of depth in the squad, and again this summer we've done nothing to deal with this issue. The biggest arrival at St James's Park this summer was the fence that was put up outside the East Stand this week. Some will say that the changes behind the scene of the club over the summer with Amanda Staveley and Murdad Gadusi leaving the club disrupted the progress that we made. I don't understand how. Paul Mitchell, the club's new sporting director, and James Bunce, the new performance director, have been at the club for over a month. January 22 showed that deals can easily be achieved in a month. PSR, 3 letters that when they're put together, no one really has a clue what they mean, was a very real threat to the club in June ahead of the end of the financial year, meaning that the sales of Yankuba Minter and Elliot Anderson were necessary to avoid a potentially season-ending points deduction. However, as stated by Darren Eales, the club has gone from strength to strength with new deals coming in, such as the Adidas kit deal, the revenue that comes from the seller shirt sponsorship, and the other deals that may have happened over the past 12 months. There is no way that the club needed to make a profit this summer to avoid being in the same position come the end of June next year. I'm recording this on August 31st. Newcastle play Tottenham at St James's Park tomorrow afternoon, and I can already sense a toxic atmosphere, similar to the years of discontent under Mike Ashley with the club's lack of progress this summer. It's worth noting that this is not the fault of the manager, of the coaching staff and of the players. As stated in his press conferences, Howe is not involved in the transfer negotiations other than just identifying the target. From the 3 games Newcastle have played this season against Southampton, Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest, we have looked second best in all of them. Now that could be down to the fact that it's early days and we're a little bit rusty, or is it the fact that we've gone stale with the current squad and that some of the players are simply not good enough to be in the first team and ultimately need replacing if we're going to look to progress? The teams around Newcastle have strengthened. Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, Tottenham, Manchester United, Chelsea and Aston Villa have all got stronger squads than they did last season, and all 6 of those clubs finished above us. I don't like ranting about the club that I love, especially after the memories and experiences it's allowed us fans to have over the past 3 years or so since the takeover. But it has to be spoken about. It has to be recognised by the club and the hierarchy that on this occasion they screwed up. I can honestly see Newcastle being outside the top 7 come the end of 2024, and if that's the case, I can see Eddie Howe being sacked, through very little fault of his own. How the coaching team, the players and ultimately the fans have been failed by the hierarchy of the club this summer. We now have 3 months until the January transfer window where the club has to make this right. However, what state will we be in by that point? Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts and opinions on where Newcastle United are at the moment and what your thoughts are for the remainder of the season. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. There'll be more content coming very soon. Catch you later.